In an industry built on excess, ego, and competition, Keanu Reeves is a mystery. A Hollywood A-lister who avoids the spotlight, a multimillionaire who prefers the subway over limousines, an action hero known for his quiet humility. Unlike most superstars, Keanu never chased fame, yet it found him. With a career spanning over 4 decades, he has headlined blockbuster franchises, cult classics, and some of the most influential films of his generation. But behind the success lies a life marked by loss, tragedy, and Hollywood betrayals. From The Matrix to John Wick, his roles have redefined modern cinema. But his real-life story is even more compelling than the characters he plays. So, how did Keanu Reeves become one of the most respected yet misunderstood figures in Hollywood? And what does the future hold for the world's most reluctant movie star? Before he became a Hollywood icon, Keanu Reeves was just a kid without a stable home, without a clear path, and without the connections that typically open doors in the film industry. Unlike many actors who were born into fame or wealth, Keanu's journey was marked by uncertainty, constant relocation, and personal hardship. But through all the instability, one thing remained constant: his love for storytelling. Whether it was through books, theater, or film, Keanu had an unshakable passion for bringing characters to life. He just needed a chance to prove it. So how did a kid who struggled in school, bounced between countries, and had no Hollywood connections rise to become one of the most recognized actors of all time? His journey is one of resilience, risk-taking, and an unwavering belief in the power of cinema. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, to an English mother and a Hawaiian Chinese father. But before he could even form memories of his birthplace, his family was already moving on. His father, Samuel Nowlin Reeves Jr., abandoned the family when Keanu was just 3 years old, leaving his mother, Patricia Taylor, to raise him and his younger sister alone. Without a stable father figure and with his mother constantly seeking new opportunities, Keanu's early life was defined by constant change. By the time he was 6 years old, Keanu had already lived in multiple countries, including Australia, New York, and finally Canada, where his family settled in Toronto. But even in Canada, stability was fleeting. His mother remarried several times, which meant Keanu and his sister were often moving into new homes, adjusting to different stepfathers, and never staying in one place for too long. With all the instability at home, Keanu struggled academically. He was dyslexic, which made traditional schooling difficult, and he frequently felt like an outsider in structured education. But while he didn't thrive in the classroom, he found something that did excite him: acting. While school never felt like the right fit, Keanu discovered his true calling on the stage. As a teenager, he became involved in drama classes where he quickly stood out for his intensity, charisma, and natural presence. Acting gave him a sense of purpose, something that traditional academics never did. But Keanu wasn't just drawn to acting, he was drawn to movement. He had a passion for hockey, excelling as a goalie and even earning the nickname The Wall for his defensive skills. At one point, he seriously considered pursuing a professional hockey career, but deep down, he knew that his true passion lay in the arts. By the time he was 17, Keanu made a bold decision. He dropped out of high school to focus on acting full-time. It was a risk, but for someone who had spent his entire life navigating uncertainty, he was used to taking chances. With no Hollywood connections and no formal training beyond high school theater, Keanu had to start from scratch. He took small roles in Canadian television shows, commercials, and low-budget productions, slowly building his experience and making a name for himself. His first real break came in 1984 when he landed a role in the CBC series Hangin' In. It wasn't a major part, but it put him on the radar of casting agents. From there, he started booking bigger projects, including the TV film Letting Go and small roles in stage productions. Then, in 1986, Keanu got his first taste of Hollywood. He starred in Young Blood, a hockey drama featuring Rob Lowe and Patrick Swayze. The role wasn't huge, but it was enough to convince Keanu that he needed to be in Los Angeles. At just 20 years old, he packed his bags and moved to Hollywood, a city where thousands of aspiring actors fight for the same opportunities. Keanu had no famous last name, no industry connections, and no guaranteed success. All he had was talent, determination, and a willingness to keep pushing forward. In Hollywood, breaking through is never easy, but Keanu's blend of intensity, charm, and quiet vulnerability set him apart. After a string of supporting roles, he landed his first major breakout performance in 1989 with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. The film, a sci-fi comedy about two lovable but clueless teenagers who travel through time, became a surprise hit, turning Keanu into an unexpected star. His portrayal of Ted Theodore Logan showcased his natural comedic timing and made him a household name almost overnight. But while Bill and Ted made him famous, Hollywood wasn't convinced that he had range. Many viewed him as a goofy one-note actor, and critics weren't sure if he could handle more serious roles. Rather than letting himself be typecast, Keanu made a bold move. Instead of cashing in on more comedy roles, he deliberately sought out darker, more dramatic films to prove that he had more to offer than just playing a clueless teenager. In the early 90s, Keanu set out to reinvent himself, taking on gritty, emotionally complex roles that showed his versatility. One of his most critically acclaimed performances came in My Own Private Idaho in 1991, where he starred alongside River Phoenix. The film, a deeply introspective drama about street hustlers, proved that Keanu could deliver powerful, nuanced performances. At the same time, he was making waves in the action genre, taking on roles that would eventually redefine his career. In 1991, he starred in Point Break alongside Patrick Swayze, playing an FBI agent who infiltrates a group of extreme sports criminals. The film was a massive success, proving that Keanu had the presence, athleticism, and intensity to carry an action blockbuster. These two films, one an indie drama, the other a mainstream action hit, showed Hollywood that Keanu Reeves was more than just a one-note actor. He was someone who could shape-shift between genres, balancing mainstream appeal with artistic credibility. And then, in 1994, he took on the role that would officially launch him into the A-list. That role happened to be Jack Traven in Speed. By the mid-90s, Keanu Reeves had proven himself in comedy, drama, and action, but his journey was just beginning. Speed was about to transform him from a rising star to a full-fledged Hollywood icon. Hollywood is full of flashy, over-the-top celebrities who flaunt their wealth at every opportunity. But Keanu Reeves? He's not like the others. While his net worth is estimated to be in the hundreds of millions, he doesn't live the way most A-listers do. Keanu could easily own mega mansions, fleets of sports cars, and private islands, yet he has been seen riding the subway, giving away portions of his salary, and living with far less excess than his peers. But that doesn't mean he doesn't enjoy his wealth, he just spends it differently. From multi-million-dollar homes to a passion for motorcycles, secret philanthropy, and a lifestyle that defies Hollywood norms, Keanu Reeves' approach to luxury is quite surprising. Despite being one of the most recognizable actors in the world, Keanu Reeves has always maintained a down-to-earth, almost mysterious lifestyle. While other actors flash their wealth through private jets and diamond-studded watches, Keanu is often seen wearing simple outfits, enjoying quiet meals alone, and even riding public transportation. This isn't just an image, it's who he really is. He's never been one to indulge in Hollywood's obsession with excess, and even after making millions from blockbuster franchises like The Matrix and John Wick, he still lives in a way that is shockingly modest for someone of his status. But don't be mistaken, Keanu does enjoy his success, he just chooses to spend his fortune in ways that make sense to him. Most Hollywood stars own multiple mansions, beach houses, and vacation properties across the globe. Keanu? He owns just one primary residence, a stunning home in the Hollywood Hills. Purchased in 2003 for just under $5 million, this house isn't just about extravagance, it's about peace, privacy, and comfort. It features spacious, open-concept living areas, massive glass windows with stunning views, and a minimalist design that mirrors his personality. Unlike most celebrities, Keanu isn't constantly buying and selling homes. He prefers to keep things simple, focusing on quality over excess. While he has been known to rent luxurious properties when filming, his main home in Los Angeles remains his true sanctuary. If there's one thing Keanu does spend money on, it's motorcycles. His love for bikes isn't just a hobby, it's a full-fledged obsession. Keanu's collection includes some of the world's most rare and high-performance motorcycles, from classic Nortons to custom-built Ducatis. He doesn't just collect them, he rides them daily, often spotted cruising through LA without security or fanfare. His passion for motorcycles led him to co-found Arch Motorcycle Company, a brand that produces high-end, custom-built motorcycles for elite riders. Unlike most celebrity business ventures that are just for show, Keanu is directly involved in designing and testing these bikes. Each model is handcrafted, costing upwards of $100,000, making them some of the most exclusive motorcycles in the world. But for Keanu, this isn't just about business, it's about sharing something he genuinely loves. While Keanu is more often seen on a motorcycle than behind the wheel of a car, he does own a few notable vehicles. One of his prized possessions is his Porsche 911 Carrera, a car he describes as fast, simple, and beautiful. Many Hollywood stars would usually opt for fleets of supercars and custom exotics, but Keanu's choices reflect his personality: sleek, powerful, but not excessive. He has also owned a classic Norton Commando, an Aston Martin, and even a vintage Volvo, showing that his taste in cars is as unique as his approach to fame. When it comes to fashion, Keanu Reeves isn't the type to chase trends or flaunt designer labels. His style is simple, effortless, and often understated. Unlike other celebrities who wear custom-tailored suits and diamond-studded watches, Keanu has been known to wear the same leather jacket for years, repeat outfits at public events, and show up to premieres in well-worn boots. But when he does indulge, it's always for the right reasons. His watch collection, for example, includes a rare Rolex Submariner gifted to him by the stunt team of John Wick, engraved with a personal message. Instead of collecting dozens of expensive watches, he keeps a select few that hold sentimental value. While Keanu's personal spending is modest, his generosity is legendary. Unlike most celebrities who make high-profile donations for publicity, Keanu Reeves gives away millions quietly, without cameras, press releases, or any expectation of recognition. His generosity isn't about building an image, it's simply a reflection of who he is. Over the years, stories of his kindness have become the stuff of Hollywood legend. During the height of the Matrix franchise, Keanu made headlines for sharing a significant portion of his earnings with the crew, ensuring that the people working behind the scenes were just as rewarded as those in front of the camera. Years later, while filming John Wick, he extended that same gratitude to his stunt team, personally gifting them luxury watches as a token of appreciation for their hard work. But his generosity doesn't stop at the people he works with. Keanu has quietly donated millions to cancer research and children's hospitals, even launching a private foundation in honor of his late sister. Beyond financial contributions, his kindness extends to everyday moments. Fans have shared countless stories of him paying for meals, helping strangers, and even offering his seat on the subway. Whether it's in Hollywood or in daily life, Keanu's generosity is woven into every aspect of who he is. Keanu's generosity isn't about seeking praise, it's simply who he is. Keanu Reeves is proof that you don't need to flaunt wealth to be successful. Despite having a fortune that could allow him to live like royalty, he chooses to live with intention, purpose, and simplicity. His love for motorcycles, meaningful gifts, and supporting those around him defines his approach to luxury, not just spending for the sake of status. While other celebrities compete to show who can live the most lavish life, Keanu quietly enjoys his wealth in a way that aligns with his values. Keanu Reeves' career isn't just impressive, it's one of the most unique trajectories in Hollywood history. Unlike many actors who fade after their first big break, Keanu has managed to reinvent himself, decade after decade, staying relevant across generations. From his early days as a quirky comedic lead to his reign as one of Hollywood's most bankable action stars, his career has been built on blockbuster hits, critically acclaimed performances, and a fan base that remains fiercely loyal. But what truly sets Keanu apart isn't just his ability to land major roles, it's his impact on the industry itself. His films haven't just been successful, they've changed Hollywood, influenced pop culture, and set new standards for action filmmaking. So how did Keanu Reeves go from a breakout role in a time-traveling comedy to leading two of the biggest action franchises in film history? Keanu's journey to becoming one of Hollywood's most beloved actors wasn't a straight path. While Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure made him a recognizable face, it also threatened to box him into the goofy sidekick role. Determined to prove his versatility, Keanu pivoted toward more serious and action-heavy roles, leading to one of his earliest career-defining moments, his performance in Point Break. The 1991 action thriller where Keanu starred alongside Patrick Swayze wasn't just a box office hit, it became a cult classic, setting a new standard for action films with practical stunts and high-energy sequences. His portrayal of Johnny Utah, an FBI agent going undercover with a group of surfers, showed audiences a different side of Keanu, one that was intense, driven, and more than capable of carrying an action film. Just a few years later, he cemented his place in the genre with Speed. Released in 1994, the film became an instant blockbuster, grossing over $350 million worldwide and solidifying Keanu as a legitimate action star. His performance as Jack Traven, a cop trying to stop a bomb-rigged bus, proved that he had the charisma, intensity, and physicality to lead a high-stakes thriller. The success of Speed made Keanu one of the most in-demand actors of the 90s, but rather than taking the easy route and sticking to blockbuster roles, he made a surprising decision. He turned down Speed 2, walking away from a massive payday in favor of more diverse artistic projects. While Keanu had already established himself as an action star, it wasn't until 1999 that he took on a role that would define his legacy. When The Matrix hit theaters, it didn't just become a box office smash, it changed the landscape of action filmmaking forever. The Wachowskis' cyberpunk epic introduced audiences to bullet-time effects, groundbreaking fight choreography, and a mind-bending narrative that blended philosophy with cutting-edge technology. At the center of it all was Keanu as Neo, the reluctant hero who discovers that reality is nothing more than an illusion. His performance as the film's quiet but powerful lead resonated with audiences, turning Neo into one of the most iconic characters in modern cinema. But Keanu's dedication to the role went beyond acting. He spent months training in martial arts and wire work, refusing to rely on stunt doubles for many of the film's most physically demanding sequences. His commitment to authenticity helped sell the film's highly stylized action, making every fight scene feel raw, real, and revolutionary. The Matrix wasn't just a hit, it became a global phenomenon. The original film grossed over $460 million worldwide, while its sequels, The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, pushed the franchise's total earnings past $1.6 billion. The success of the trilogy made Keanu one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors, with reports stating that he earned over $100 million from the Matrix films alone. But rather than keeping all the money for himself, he made an unexpected move, giving away a large portion of his earnings to the film's special effects and stunt teams, recognizing their contributions to the franchise's success. Even decades later, The Matrix remains one of Keanu's most beloved projects, proving that a single role can define a generation and reshape an entire genre. After the Matrix trilogy concluded in 2003, Keanu found himself in an unexpected place. Hollywood seemed to be moving on. Despite starring in films like Constantine and The Day the Earth Stood Still, his projects weren't generating the same excitement as before. By the late 2000s, some industry insiders began questioning whether his time as a leading man was over. But Keanu was never one to chase trends. Instead of scrambling for blockbuster roles, he quietly waited for the right project to come along, and when it did, it would launch one of the greatest comebacks in modern Hollywood history. By 2014, most people wouldn't have predicted that Keanu Reeves would lead another billion-dollar franchise, but that's exactly what happened when John Wick hit theaters. Originally expected to be a modestly successful action film, John Wick exceeded all expectations, grossing over $86 million and reigniting Keanu's career. His portrayal of the retired assassin forced back into the underworld was intense, emotional, and effortlessly cool. But what made John Wick stand out wasn't just its story, it was its groundbreaking action choreography. Unlike the shaky cam fight scenes and over-edited action sequences that had dominated Hollywood at the time, John Wick brought back long takes, fluid choreography, and practical stunt work. Keanu, at nearly 50 years old, trained extensively in gun fu, judo, and jiu-jitsu, performing nearly all of his own stunts. His commitment to realism made every fight scene visceral and exhilarating, turning John Wick into a blueprint for modern action filmmaking. The success of the first film led to multiple sequels, with the franchise now grossing over $1 billion worldwide. And just like The Matrix, John Wick proved that Keanu Reeves wasn't just an action star, he was an action legend. From indie dramas and cult classics to record-breaking franchises, Keanu Reeves has spent over 35 years building a career that defies Hollywood norms. Very few actors have remained relevant for this long, consistently reinventing themselves across generations. But despite his massive success, his journey hasn't been without hardship, betrayal, and industry politics. Keanu Reeves is often seen as one of the few scandal-free celebrities in Hollywood, a rare A-lister who has managed to avoid public meltdowns, major lawsuits, or career-ending controversies. But behind the image of Hollywood's most beloved star, his journey hasn't been entirely smooth. Over the years, he has faced career setbacks, betrayals, false rumors, and industry politics that nearly ended his career. From being labeled a wooden actor to rumors of a secret Hollywood blacklist, legal battles, and bizarre internet conspiracies, Keanu has dealt with more than his fair share of controversy and hardship. So what are the biggest scandals and career-threatening moments that Keanu Reeves has had to navigate, and how did he manage to emerge stronger time and time again? Before Keanu became one of Hollywood's most bankable action stars, he spent years fighting against a reputation that could have destroyed his career. Despite early success with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Point Break, Keanu quickly gained a reputation for being too stiff, emotionless, and robotic in his performances. His acting style, which relied on subtlety and understatement, was often mistaken for a lack of skill, with critics dismissing him as a one-note performer who got lucky. This perception reached its peak in 1992, when Keanu starred in Bram Stoker's Dracula, a film that was praised for its visual style and storytelling, but heavily criticized for his performance. His attempt at a British accent was widely mocked, and critics called him miscast and out of his depth. For years, Keanu struggled to shake off this negative perception, with many in the industry believing that he lacked the depth to handle serious roles. Even after the massive success of Speed in 1994, many still saw him as a limited actor who relied more on looks than talent. The constant criticism could have ended his career early, but Keanu refused to let it define him. Instead of chasing critical approval, he focused on roles that played to his strengths: physicality, presence, and emotional intensity over exaggerated expressions. Then came The Matrix, a film that completely flipped the narrative, proving once and for all that Keanu Reeves was more than just a pretty face. After the runaway success of Speed, Keanu was expected to return for the sequel, Speed 2: Cruise Control. The studio offered him a massive payday, but, to everyone's surprise, he turned it down. His decision stunned Hollywood. At the time, most actors wouldn't have walked away from a guaranteed blockbuster sequel and a multi-million-dollar paycheck. But Keanu had his reasons. For one, he didn't believe in the script. He felt that a sequel set on a slow-moving cruise ship lacked the intensity and urgency that made the original so exciting. Instead, he chose to pursue more artistic projects, including a touring stage production of Hamlet. But rejecting Speed 2 came at a cost. Rumors swirled that Keanu was being blacklisted in Hollywood for defying the studio system. For years, he struggled to land major roles, with insiders claiming that his refusal to play the Hollywood game had made him difficult to work with. It wasn't until The Matrix in 1999 that Keanu fully rebounded, proving that trusting his instincts was the right move all along. For much of the early 2000s, Keanu Reeves seemed to disappear from mainstream Hollywood. After the Matrix trilogy, he took on smaller roles in indie films and lower-budget projects, leaving many wondering why an actor of his stature wasn't headlining more blockbusters. Some speculated that Keanu was being blacklisted by powerful figures in Hollywood. The theory gained traction after he revealed in an interview that he had been quietly removed from major projects without explanation. One of the most infamous examples involved a potential sequel to The Devil's Advocate, where Keanu was originally in talks to return. According to some reports, the project was mysteriously scrapped, and he was never given a clear reason why. While there has never been solid evidence of an official blacklist, Keanu himself has admitted that he felt like an outsider in Hollywood for years, with fewer offers than expected after his Matrix success. Some believe that his unwillingness to conform to Hollywood politics, refusing blockbuster sequels, calling out unfair practices, and maintaining a reclusive personal life made him less appealing to powerful studio executives. Regardless of whether a blacklist existed or not, Keanu never let it stop him from pursuing his craft. In 2009, Keanu found himself in the middle of an unexpected legal battle when a woman named Karen Sala filed a lawsuit against him, claiming that he was the father of her 4 children. The accusations shocked both Keanu and his fans, as he firmly denied ever meeting the woman. Saleh demanded $3 million per month in spousal support and $150,000 per month in child support, despite there being no evidence of a prior relationship. Keanu agreed to a DNA test which conclusively proved that he was not the father of any of her children. The case was quickly dismissed, but it highlighted the downside of fame, being targeted by false claims and opportunistic lawsuits. While the ordeal was legally resolved, it was a rare public scandal for Keanu, bringing unwanted media attention to his famously private life. Unlike most Hollywood stars, Keanu Reeves has become a phenomenon on the internet. Over the years, he has inspired countless memes, fan theories, and viral moments, some flattering, some bizarre. One of the most famous was the Sad Keanu meme, which began when a paparazzi photo showed him sitting alone on a park bench, eating a sandwich and looking deep in thought. The internet exploded with speculation, turning him into a symbol of existential sadness and quiet introspection. Beyond memes, some internet users have taken their obsession to a stranger level, the Keanu Reeves is immortal theory. Fans have pointed out eerie similarities between Keanu and historical figures like Charlemagne and various Renaissance paintings, joking that he hasn't aged in centuries. While Keanu has laughed off these theories, they highlight his unique place in pop culture, both a beloved Hollywood icon and an internet legend. Keanu Reeves may not have the same scandals as other A-list actors, but his career hasn't been without challenges, betrayals, and career-threatening rumors. Through harsh criticism, industry politics, legal battles, and internet conspiracies, he has remained one of the most respected, resilient, and admired figures in entertainment. Keanu Reeves has defied Hollywood norms for decades, proving time and time again that his career isn't bound by industry expectations. From the groundbreaking success of The Matrix to the billion-dollar John Wick franchise, he has remained one of the most bankable and beloved actors in the world. At nearly 60 years old, Keanu shows no signs of slowing down. With John Wick 5 reportedly in development and his expanding role in the Cyberpunk 2077 universe, he continues to push boundaries in both film and gaming. He has also expressed interest in returning to indie filmmaking, exploring more personal, character-driven stories that differ from his usual action-heavy roles. Beyond acting, Keanu's influence extends to business, philanthropy, and even literature. His motorcycle company, Arch Motorcycle, continues to thrive, and his secret donations to hospitals and charities solidify his reputation as one of Hollywood's most generous stars. Fans are also eagerly anticipating new projects from Berserker, his comic book series that is being adapted for film and animation. From the reluctant action hero who gave away millions to the thoughtful artist who continues to reinvent himself, Keanu Reeves remains Hollywood's most genuine enigma, a superstar whose greatest role may be the one we rarely see, himself.